Hi, I'm Ellen.
And I'm Luke, welcome to Show of the Weekend.
Luke, do you want to focus up?
Hi, Stretch Broadcloth. I'm Mr. Westaway's agent. Sorry, he no longer likes to be addressed directly, so if you could direct your inquiries to my client through me, I'll be able to... Sorry, I've got to take this. Robert, baby! Downey Jr. is who I'm talking to.
Luke, is this because you and Jane went to that Destiny 2 event in LA for like 2 days and now you've gone all Hollywood? Jane, you were there as well. Like, do you agree with this?
Hi, Bud Fensler. I represent Ms. Douglas.
Show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend.
So
So,
Luke,
yeah.
you're back in the UK.
Yeah, it really changes you. Experiencing the high life
Yeah.
for approximately slightly less than 48 hours.
What did you get up to while you were over there?
I played Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Played the stuffing out of Destiny 2. So this was the first opportunity to play the sequel to Bungie's MMO FPS, I guess. Are we calling it that? Is that what we're calling it?
No one's calling it that.
No one's calling it that, okay.
We'll call it that.
Your nerd acronym.
Keep your nerd acronyms out of here. Jane and I were there, and what we played was a little bit of the PvE and a little bit of the PvP. Now I know what you do. I know. So PvE is player versus environment. So those are the co-op missions where you band together with people and you basically take on a big AI like thing that's in the game, and then PvP is just like standard multiplayer. The PvE thing that we played was called the Inverted Spire.
Right.
And it was pretty cool. It was a chance to take a look at some of the new stuff in the game. So there are new supers. I thought it would make me unkillable, and then I got killed while I was doing one. So. And I haven't played a whole lot of Destiny. In fact, I played hardly any of the first game. I should say. What I do know is that they've changed up the way that your weapons are organised. So now they've done something quite interesting, where basically you've got 3 weapon slots. The third one is like you need special ammo for it, and it's big weapons like sniper rifles and grenade launchers and stuff like that. What was that?
Tiny
It's a
sniper.
tiny sniper rifle. Assemble it out of a tiny suitcase. And then just swallow that and leave the opera.
Leaving someone going, ow.
What you can do now is in the other 2 slots, the ones that aren't for your massive mega weapon thing, you can actually put the same weapon or the same kind of weapon in those.
Yeah.
So it gives you a bit more flexibility. And I quite like that because I don't recall having seen that done before. Normally those loadout things tend to be pretty regimented. Like you have a sidearm and then a proper gun and then a fancy third one. Generally, when I was playing it, it made me remember how much I enjoy that massively online co-op stuff.
Yep.
My only real frame of reference for the gigantic online world stuff is World of Warcraft, because apart from stuff like The Division a little bit, like that's the only one that I've really properly got into at some point before. It was really fun taking down a gigantic enemy.
Guys, we've encountered a massive Vex mine.
Because you just have like loads of people like swarm the one enemy in these types of games. So like, was it, how many did you have in your team, or was it
3.
loads of people? Just
3.
3 of
So
you?
it's just 3 people. So in the raids you can get more people than that, but in the PvE things in the co-op it's just 3, and I think that's tailored around the fact that in Destiny there are 3 classes.
Right.
Which is Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. It's not. And the first game was like this as well, I'm told. It wasn't set out so firmly that those 3 classes are very different.
No.
They are actually all sort of the same kind of thing. So it's not like you'll be the tank or the healer or DPS, just damage per second, sorry Andy. There aren't those strict roles to fall into, which I quite like, because one thing that I didn't really enjoy about some other MMOs is that you basically have to pick one thing to play.
And then that's the only way you play the game for the next 80 levels.
Yeah, and for literally years, that's what you are. And you can all only wonder what it's like being a paladin. So the interplay is much more subtle.
Yeah.
You're sort of relying on basically what each individual is bringing to the game in terms of their super moves and how they can best cooperate. But more than that, I guess the way to win and the teamwork comes from trying to have a strategy and just talking a lot to the other people. So it's a big one for team chat. Like I don't think you'd be able to just breeze through this and just fall into established roles and be like, oh well, I've got this kind of gun, I'm this kind of character, I'll probably be doing this sort of thing. There were a lot of times when one of us would, I'm not saying me, maybe for all you know it was Jane. I mean, you do know it's me because we published the footage.
That was an error on your part.
It makes it so hard to lie about stuff when you publish the footage. My advice would be don't publish the footage if you're hoping to lie. There were loads of times when I charged in and it was a bit foolhardy and end up everyone getting killed and stuff.
All right, I'm going for it.
All right.
I'm going for it.
I believe in you, Luke.
I'm going for it.
Don't
There's an awful lot going on down there. Oh boy.
Did you get ground?
Should have thought about this a bit more.
Oh.
And then the second time round, there was a bit more communication.
Yeah.
And that communication turned out to be really, really important, basically, especially when it came to the giant boss thing, which has like a health bar the size of 100 sheds or a house. 100 sheds equals a house. That's the metric system of buildings. And then there was a lot of like strafing around and hiding behind stuff and just trying to talk about when we could see him like charging up particular attacks and where we could see him moving around the map and things like that.
Right, you guys focus on the big guy.
Okay.
I'm on the mobs.
Oh, no power ammo. Oh,
okay.
someone's down, but don't.
Yep.
Don't
I'm
get too
coming in
involved.
for the revive ASAP.
And that stuff I really, really enjoyed. Also played the PvP mode, and I have to say that is not my preferred way to game particularly, especially the Destiny 2 event where it's mostly like pro Destiny players.
Professional gamers.
Yeah.
Their game, and you just die.
Well everyone, I'm looking forward to giving the game a try. So this is the spawn point. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said I really got to experience much of that beyond, like the
dying
respawn screen. But ask me about the respawn screen if anyone has any questions. I don't generally play a whole lot of that kind of game mode in my life anyway, generally. The people who do play a lot of that seemed to be having a nice time. So the first Destiny game didn't have very much in the way of a campaign. Like it did have one, but the game was very, very online focused.
Yeah.
And I think it took a little bit of heat for not having a very major campaign. And that is something that they are clearly trying to address. I played a little bit of it. I wasn't able to, record my footage.
Spoilers.
Exactly. So I'm just going to have to describe it in such detail that you won't be able to remember if you've even seen it for real or whether it was just my description. That stuff was really fun. It had that Call of Duty feeling where everything is scripted. Like you can't walk 2 feet without some incredible, beautiful thing.
Explosion.
And then you're sliding down and thing. So it's much more like a theme park ride or something than like a tactical open world or something. But just in that campaign mission, I did find that quite fun. It looked a treat, or it let you interact and kind of run around with some of the most important Guardian characters in the game. The ones who live in the tower and are just like overseeing stuff and being all cool. And there's 3 of them, only one of whom is Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I right or am I right?
Which is a pretty disappointing ratio.
Yeah.
But that was something that I hadn't really thought about, but remembered that I really enjoyed from MMOs, is that occasionally there'll be like you do a campaign or a bit or a main story mission in World of Warcraft or something where Thrall, War Chief of the Horde, would be helping you out. And it doesn't make much sense within the fiction of the game because you're just like some
Scrub
baby orc that wandered out the desert or something, and he's like, I sent something special in you, but let's wrap this up in 10 minutes because I've got like a million other people who I sent something special in to do this exact same mission.
I said something special about you. I said something special.
Yeah, so in this campaign mission, you get to hang around a little bit with Zavala, who is one of those like top Guardian peeps, and it's nice because he's like, he does have nice eyes and a nice voice.
Yeah.
Let's get serious, people.
It feels good to play. To me, it has that sort of pleasant Halo floatiness, with the double jumping and the strafing and the shield recharging, and you spend the whole time just basically going like this back and forward, trying to confuse your enemies. The game's out in September the 8th, but it's still very early days in terms of what we've really seen from it. But generally,
Nathan Fillion.
I didn't get to meet Nathan Fillion. I don't even think he was there.
What would you have done if you had met him?
If I'd met him, don't know, probably just come 2 days later and try and look it up on the internet.
See how it played out.
Yeah, and see how it played out.
I actually know someone who was at a Halo event. They had a whole load of things set up, and he was playing, got a really good shot, and had this guy go, "Oh, nice shot." Turn around, and it was Nathan Fillion, and he was just like.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good job that Nathan Fillion wasn't there watching over my shoulder. Maybe he was, and he just didn't, he was just like...
He got annoyed.
Like 35 minutes.
He was like, I'm going to make this guy's day.
He's going to get a nice shot eventually, surely. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It feels like a cool game. I'm excited to get into another huge online game, I think, because it has been a little while. There's clan support in the game now, though.
Oh, cool.
So we can make a clan.
Yeah.
And we can make like a banner.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how
Let's do
customizable the banners are going to be. I don't know if you can
we
put
can't
like...
put the logo on. I'm going to be annoyed. But,
Yeah.
you know, we can just make it purple.
Club
otherwise,
Kippers.
Drinks
Got-
are free.
I don't think there is a George Michael / Wham song that Kippers wouldn't fit into perfectly.
No,
Kippers
yeah.
going absolutely crazy with a saxophone on Careless Whisper.
What if his rough cat's tongue got caught on the reed?
Oh, imagine Kippers with his tongue stuck in a clarinet, trying to explain.
He has to take all his meals through the clarinet.
He tilts the clarinet upwards and soups are poured down the end.
Various broths.
To
Yeah, we've learned a
conclude,
lot about Destiny 2.
Yeah, so it looks cool, so keep an eye out for more in the coming time.
From one space-themed game to another, I'm going to quiz you, right?
All right. Jeez.
On Star Trek VR.
Captain's log. Stardate 2016.165. Starship USS Aegis is preparing for her maiden voyage. We've gathered some of the most decorated officers in the Federation to test her limits and to prove her place among Starfleet's finest ships. We're en route to a secret testing facility and are proceeding to our destination at maximum warp.
Okay, so Luke,
Trek VR.
Star Trek VR is coming out next week. Check out our Let's Plays, one with Luke as captain and one with Jane as captain.
Both great captains.
Both fantastic
Both
captains.
fantastic captains in different ways.
Captains fantastic.
Now that is a stretch.
That is a stretch.
No one would listen to my mutiny plans.
Yeah, Andy was very keen to take over and become captain himself, but didn't work.
I've not heard the phrase captain out the airlock quite so many times. That was before we'd even left the spaceport.
Yeah.
I actually did edit out, in the end, quite a lot of Andy just talking about mutiny. It's not deliberately to make myself look like a better captain, although that was a side effect.
That was a side effect, yeah.
Also, a lot of it was before we started recording and before we'd even started playing. So.
On the train down.
Yeah.
Phoning you the night before.
Gonna get you.
I don't know what gesture that's supposed to be, Andy, but I don't think it's very complimentary.
Right, question one. Star Trek VR
Yes.
is bringing one of our, one of the most classic television series of all time.
Star Trek. Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's not the question though. From our TV screens to our gaming screens. In this case, VR headset. So, Luke, what other TV program would you love to experience in VR?
In VR. Ooh, okay, well, lots of my favourite TV shows are an immediate write-off because I was thinking like Game of Thrones, but that would just be like get beheaded in VR. I think maybe Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks would be a good one, yes.
For some reason, I thought that might be the case.
The thing is with Twin Peaks, though, it's all about like those locations and those like iconic rooms and settings.
Yeah.
So actually, I think I'd be happy if there wasn't even a game there.
Yeah,
It's
just
like
to
put on the
explore.
headset and you're in the RR and you can just be like, oh, yeah, it's good. Thing is, though, there are so many games at the moment that are Twin Peaks inspired, most of which we've talked about in the last few weeks, that I don't feel like I need the VR stuff. What else?
Great British Bake Off.
Great
That would
British
be
Bake
so
Off
good.
would be
BBC
Eat
version.
some sort of smell adapter. You could be baking the things and putting them in the oven and accidentally dropping them on the way out of the oven.
Actually, yeah, because like multitasking games are really good in VR, aren't they? Like the Craft Keeper VR game.
Yeah,
that
where you're making
Jane was
things.
playing. That's basically what the Star Trek VR game is.
Yeah.
It's just space baking, except what you're baking is a successful mission. Yeah, I actually think Great British Bake Off would be
that'd be
a pretty
great.
good one.
And have Mel and Sue come and like encourage you.
Mel and Sue right up close.
Give you a hug in VR as you cry because your cake hasn't risen yet.
Yeah, they're making all those like fun quips. When you're watching it, you're like, haha, Mel and Sue, you're hilarious, but you can tell that the people baking are like, go away. Baking is so hard. X-Files, would X-Files make good VR? Probably not. It would just mostly be the insides of motel rooms and
But
Mulder or
you do
Scully's
like
car.
an investigation with them.
I do, yeah, that'd be fun.
You could sweep your powerful torch beam across things.
That would be pretty fun. Walking in somewhere and be like, yeah. Where are the aliens? There is one. Let me take a photo. Now I've got the photo. You seen that, Scully? Yes, Mulder, I've seen it. Good. All right. 5 minutes later, I don't know what I saw. She saw an alien, Scully. You see an alien every week. Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah. Aliens.
So what's your answer?
Bake Off.
Bake Off.
Like what Mike said, yeah.
Nice.
As usual, Mike's answered my questions way better than me.
Okay. Kirk or Picard?
Kirk. It's so simple. just Kirk. He's so cool. I love him. Picard is obviously great as well. They are very different captains. They have very different styles. Picard does a lot more thinking and holds a lot more meetings, which is cracking television. No, but you know,
Space diplomacy.
It's diplomacy and it's important. Kirk's diplomacy is like, what if I made out with them? Can I broker the peace treaty with my tongue? And somehow he always does. Then get attacked by tribbles, have a humorous adventure, and Kirk does that style of fighting that I really like, which is that like super advanced space judo, which is mostly just going like this. The good thing about Picard is like Borg Picard looks pretty cool, right? Like as a sort of evil version. But compare that with evil Kirk, who has like some eyeliner and is basically just doing this the whole time. If ever Show of the Weekend's on and I've got eyeliner and I'm doing this, that's a clear sign bad Luke has got out of the cloning machine, whatever it is.
I'm intrigued to see if that happens 1 week. But the actual answer was Janeway.
Did I just get Ellen?
You just got Ellen.
Did I just get...
Just got
Next
Ellened.
question. It's
Right.
been a while since we've had an Ellening.
I know.
Good old-fashioned Ellening.
I know, not done it for a while. I've been quite nice. Well, it's because I know how much you like Captain Kirk, but it's just like...
Oh, so you knew that this was the most
it
painful
would be the
point
one,
at which to Ellen
you'd be
you.
like, yes, yes, yes.
Janeway's cool. Her name sounds a little bit like mine.
Yeah.
She has cool hair.
The
Quite
actress
cool
also
hair.
plays Red in Orange is the New Black. She's excellent. So, yeah.
No way! Oh my god!
What?
You're right!
How did you not?
I just didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
Wow! What an educational episode this has been. Probably not for you at home, but for me, which is vastly more
Everyone
important.
at home going,
Like, yes, Luke.
anyone who's watched that series be like, yeah.
In retrospect, the giveaway was the way they have the same face. and
Yeah.
Got a different colour hair though. I mean,
Yeah, she's got red hair.
Exactly. How could I be expected to keep track? By the way, what happened to Ellen? I don't know who this new person is. I just know they've got different hair. I tell you what, you're doing a way better job than that Ellen used to. If you ever see her, you tell her she's no longer welcome.
Right, so Luke,
Yeah.
the 5 of us, OX crew, go down to the nearest planet as part of the Enterprise crew. As captain,
I'm so excited.
in one of our Let's Plays, okay, you must assign uniforms. There is one red shirt. Who gets it?
So am I the captain?
You're the captain. You have to decide who gets
So-
the red shirt.
So it's not logically possible for me to give myself the red shirt, because even though that would be the heroic thing, that's what Kirk would do. I have to be the captain, so I cannot have the red shirt.
No, that's not a rule.
No, I think that's the rule. Unfortunately, my hands are tied and I'm unable to sacrifice myself. That's sad. Okay. Okay. Well, I would wear the red shirt. Mike would be the sort of tasteful navigation yellow. Jane has the most science credentials.
You're getting stared down by Andy.
I'm just interested to see where this goes, is all.
Okay, well now I think I have to make Andy the red shirt because it's the only way to get him off my back. I'm sorry, but like only one of you was like constantly calling for my mutiny.
Yeah, Yeah, because of this sort of behaviour by the captain. Come on, guys, we can take him. Let's force the red shirt on him.
Is
You can
that
save
That's
this by
intense.
saying you think that Andy could probably handle himself.
I think Andy could probably handle himself when he's like fired into the vacuum of space by a Klingon ship.
What are you
Blowing.
firing me into the vacuum of space?
I'm not. I'm not. But the Romulans or whoever shot the hull. I didn't see it coming because I was asleep.
Well, Luke, that's a slightly silly answer because whilst I said that there's one red shirt, I didn't say that there weren't 5 shirts of other colours. So it could have been like, no one got it.
God. Well, at least I finally got rid of that
There was an
backstabbing Andy.
entire wardrobe.
The red.
Full of yellow and blue and green, all sorts of colours.
I want you to look out of your space window at my frozen corpse.
Drinking my cocoa.
Not drinking cocoa, drinking a sadder
It's the
drink.
morning.
Drinking a sadder drink.
Excellent. Right, okay. Going back to Picard, he likes his tea Earl Grey hot. But
Yeah.
as captain of the OX Enterprise,
X Enterprise.
what is your beverage of choice?
Hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Delicious cup of hot cocoa. It's the only thing that eases the torment of watching all my crewmen sucked out into the void. Thing is, hot cocoa is quite calorific, and I probably wouldn't be getting much exercise sat in the chair. I like Earl Grey tea.
Yeah?
Although, the more I think about it, the more hot drinks on the Enterprise sounds like a terrible idea. What do they spend most of the time doing on the bridge? Like,
Yeah.
you know, shaking around. Imagine if you've got a teacup. When the photons hit, and you're like, tea would go, ah, into crewman Farrant.
Well, final question, very quickly.
Oh, there's one more, okay.
One more. When we played Star Trek VR, you were captain. But out of the other roles, which do you think you would be most suitable for?
Probably like King Captain. I think I'd maybe quite enjoy the driving one. But
Yeah.
you said good at, didn't you? Not like would enjoy.
Well, we had Mike driving, so...
Yeah, you're not
I
going to beat
did
Mike.
crash into a planet.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to say that you're all doing such a great job so far. I'm proud to be your captain today.
Yay! Clap, 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 clap.
Guys.
Clap, clap,
Whoa,
clap,
planets!
clap.
Oh, we're gonna hit planets! We're good, guys. I had it under control.
But I'll tell you what, the job that Andy had seemed really cool. I like
Yeah,
the you know,
firing torpedoes.
Firing the torpedos because you don't even like have to aim. You just like click the thing and
Yeah.
then like press shoot and
It's
it.
actually very complicated. Years of Starfleet Academy to learn how to do it.
Year 1, zhoop. Year 2, boop. Year 3, zhoop.
Year 4, zoop, boop. Did it, Captain?
That was like someone
Degree.
wants to get torpedoed.
I would take crewman Andy's job because I think it looks fun, and then Andy could be captain.
Crewman
he's
Andy's
dead.
job because he's dead.
No, and then he can be captain. Was the end of that.
Well, we've learned a lot about Star Trek VR,
Yeah.
I think.
But shall we find out what you guys have been captaining and science officering in the comments?
Yeah.
This week, Jane and I delved into the Inverted Spire mission in Destiny 2, encountering giant luminous baddies in our first exploration of Bungie's new MMO FPS.
All right, maybe I'll just try and survive long enough for you guys to get back in.
Okay.
That's not a terrible plan, right? Okay, all right.
Blake King wasn't convinced by your strategy, Luke. Luke, all right, maybe I'll just try to survive long enough for you guys to get back in. Immediately runs towards the boss.
Hey, I was about to do a tactical strafe.
Do you even know what a strafe is?
Is it a bit of a plane?
Yes. Yes, Luke. Meanwhile, we looked at the acronyms in video games that were a real stretch.
But our patience begins to fray when it comes to the many tortured acronyms found in games that were clearly devised to spell out a certain word or just look cool, or both. I'm looking at you, Tom Clancy's Hawks. Thomas Lowson realises we may have been quick to judge those dodgy acronyms. Outside Xtra, organised united team situated in deep England. Xylophones talk really aggressively? Man, this acronym stuff is harder than it looks.
Close, but the Xtra actually stands for
X-ray
Xenomorph
Turtles
Typing
Ride
Rental
Again.
Agreements.
Wait, what? They're both good.
Elsewhere in that feature, Luke, you came up with your own sweet acronym for a cool club.
Fine, well, if it's that easy, maybe I'll form my own elite fighter squadron. Flamingo, or flying, landing, and meanwhile initializing non-stop gnarly operations.
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Flamingos never say die.
The Emperor SRB defended your slightly too long acronym, Luke. Flamingo is actually a really badass name. Don't let them tell you otherwise, Luke. Flamingos never say die indeed. We need a shirt.
Shirts, coffee cups, and bouncy castles are just phase 1 of the Flamingo merchandise rollout.
Yeah, and lawn decorations.
Oh my god!
Meanwhile, on show of the weekend, Luke and I got into a spot of bother.
Andy. Oh god, oh my god. Oh, we're in so much trouble. 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 Okay, we hide him. We think of a plan later. Let's get him down. The castaway DC was concerned for Andy, saying, I miss Andy already.
Andy's just like, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Thanks, though, guys.
Wait, he's fine. Never mind.
Yeah, he was fine all along.
Thank God.
Although Nathan Clark did spot an error that we made. Luke and Ellen commit a crime. Immediately drag the evidence on camera.
Ah.
Maybe we should stop now and get on with the bloopers before we implicate ourselves in anything else.
That sounds like a real good idea. Ellen, I'm just on Google Maps. Whereabouts in Yorkshire is Louisiana?
It's not. What do you mean?
Oh, it's just your accent last week suggested.
Oh, y'all making me blush.
Okay, Helen, stop showing off now.
I can't believe. Sorry, I went British. I went British because I started laughing.
Believe it.
Can't believe it.
I can't believe you're making me blush.
Winter is coming.
All right. I was just a bit thrown after that alarm interrupted our flow last week.
Yes, but we used the downtime very wisely. Ellen asked me which dystopia I'd most like to live in. Alarm is going to stop in 3, 2, 1. So efficient, and it was a very loud alarm.
You know how I feel about loud noises.
Nice.
Is that an air horn?
Yeah.
That's adorable. That's going to be my new text message. Notifications now.
It's going to be all our message alert tones. I'm just setting it as mine now. What's that? Oh no, it's just... Well, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. And there's loads more show of the weekend to watch.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's a whole playlist.
And even though we always talk about like the new game that's out, it's not actually that timely. So don't feel like you'll be out of the loop.
What you mean is it's timeless, Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, and in a way, what I said. So yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.
Like and subscribe.
And yeah.
And I'm going to have my agent close out the show.
No.
Agent, I need help.
Luke.
Right now. Wait, no, look, I'm still Hollywood.
No, it's too late. I've moved on to Robert Downey Jr.
Junior?
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, that's fair. Russian dolls of Robert Downey Jr. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.